All right, guys. So I just got back from the gym, and I'm on my way home actually. And I decided let's stop at City Lake and sit here and reflect on my thoughts for a little bit because that's what I like to do sometimes. And I realized, hey, it's been 6 months since I've had my gastric bypass surgery. I had it back in May of 2025. Now it's November of 2025, and it's actually Thanksgiving. And I went to the gym on Thanksgiving, and I probably had the best workout I've ever had, and I'm super proud of that, guys. But before I go into detail about all the surgery and how everything went with that, I wanted to share with you guys why I decided to have the surgery in the first place, because that's probably the most important part of this conversation, I think. Basically, I was severely morbidly obese, and it was wreaking havoc on me, basically. And both on a mental health issue and physical health issues, I guess. I was diagnosed with prediabetes. I was on medicine for that, but my numbers were still on the incline, and I think I was well on my way to becoming a type 2 diabetic. I had a high blood pressure, and I was on medicine for that, and my numbers were still wacky, for sure. They were still too high. Let's see, I had heartburn and GERD really, really bad, and sometimes I would be laying in bed at night, and I would think, is this, heartburn, or am I having a heart attack? And to think that you're dying all the time is really bad for your mental health. And I felt like death, honestly, pretty much all the time. I was suffering from severe chronic back pain, and that comes with depression as well, for sure, just because you don't feel like doing anything ever. Like, with my condition, laying down provided the most relief, and that's actually part of my treatment plan for my first neurosurgeon. Lay down 15 minutes every 2 hours, and it did help. With ice packs and stuff. But yeah, so basically about a year went by and things just kind of got worse. And I had several trips to the ER in the middle of the night and stuff like that. And it was just getting terrible. So I went to another neurosurgeon, and he said, listen, he said, really what's going to help is back surgery. You're going to have a fusion. And he said, the only issue is you're too heavy for us to safely do that right now. He said, you're going to have to lose like 100 pounds, get your BMI down, and then we can do the surgery and, probably get pretty good results. So he asked me if I considered getting weight loss surgery of any kind. And I told him actually I had, and that I had talked to my doctor about it. And first she put me on some kind of weight loss medicine that made me feel like I was gonna, have my heart explode inside my chest. So I stopped that, and I told her I just wanted to have like a surgery. And she referred me to a weight loss clinic here locally, and they suck ass really bad, to be perfectly frank. I made several phone calls to them, never could get an appointment, never could get any answers. And basically, finally they said, yeah, we can do this. We don't have any answers for you, but you got to go through all these courses, and that's all out of pocket, and it's going to basically financially ruin you. Would you like to proceed? So I was like, no. And I told the neurosurgeon that, and he said, I send some of my patients to this other clinic, and we've seen some really good results. So give them a call and see what they say, and we'll go from there. And that was Dr. Fauché in St. Louis. He's a neurosurgeon, and he's awesome. He's been awesome so far. And I've actually met some of his other patients, and they've had good things to say. So I'm pretty excited about getting my back surgery in the future. But anyways, back to the gastric bypass. He referred me to New You Surgical Weight Loss Center in St. Louis with Dr. Ling. And I called them up, and I got an appointment for like a week later, super fast. And basically, I was greeted by Nurse Molly on my first appointment, the famous Nurse Molly. And she was awesome. She did a really good job at explaining things. And then I met Dr. Ling the same day, and same appointment. And he further explained things. And I felt like I had a pretty good understanding of how things worked. And we came to the conclusion that the gastric bypass was probably the best option for me, because I had GERD and heartburn, and that often helps fix it. And spoiler alert, since my gastric bypass, probably within the first month, I'm totally off heartburn medicine. I'm totally off of my blood pressure medicine and my blood sugar medicine, and all my levels are normal now. My blood sugar is running awesome. My blood pressure is running awesome. No more GERD or heartburn, and feel pretty awesome. But anyways, when I left that first day from my consultation appointment, I guess it would have been, he said, hey, this is a list of things you need to do. Start doing them as fast as possible, and I'll see you in like 3 weeks. And so as soon as I left his office, I sat in my truck and I made all the appointments for everything. And I got them all done. Basically, as a bunch of abbreviations. EKG, had that done. That was pretty good. Everything looked good there. They did the camera down the throat thing, check all that. It sounds scary. It's not. You're asleep for it. Dr. Lang did that, and he did an awesome job. When I woke up, I didn't feel like anything had happened. I didn't really even feel that tired. They do a digestion test, and that's nothing. Basically, you drink something, and they do a lab X-ray. It's actually pretty cool. So I did all the things that I needed to do, and I returned to Dr. Sling's office, and he said everything looked good. Let's do the surgery. And they scheduled it for like 2 weeks out. So from the beginning, from my first appointment with Dr. Ling to my surgery was 6 weeks, which is basically unheard of. And they work really fast there. And, I did all the steps. I just did them super fast. I met with the nutritionist and all that. And I felt like I had a really good game plan because I did. And I had a really good support team. Everybody at Dr. Ling's office at New Youth Surgical Weight Loss Center has been awesome. Even after the surgery, where most people, they just dump you off and you're done. I see that a lot on all the gastric bypass forums and stuff. I go to monthly meetings all the time, support groups and stuff, and they've been awesome. Everybody there is awesome. So that brings us to the start of my pre-op diet. I started out May 3rd, and it was not too bad. Before I started my 10-day diet, I looked up why I needed to do that. And basically, you need to shrink your liver so they can get in there and move it to the side to get to where they're going. And it's an important part of it. So you really need to do the 10-day diet or whatever diet, pre-op diet they give you. You need to do it and stick with it because it makes it easier on the surgeon, it makes it easier on you, and it makes it easier for you to recover. So very important. Just do it, even though it sucks a little bit. But once you understand why you need to do it, it makes it suck less. So I got through the 10-day diet, no problem. Surgery day, Mercy South in St. Louis. Those people were awesome. My room was awesome. Everything was awesome. It was actually kind of like a vacation. I'm not even gonna lie. It sounds messed up, but that's the way it was for me. So got there at like 6 o'clock in the morning. They did all their prep and stuff. I had surgery roughly about 8 o'clock. It lasted about an hour and a half maybe. And then I was in recovery for an hour. When I woke up, let me tell you, I was extremely hot. I was nauseated. I felt like I had the flu. It wasn't in like a lot of pain. I was just kind of sore. I felt like I had the flu. That's basically what it felt like. They gave me some nausea stuff right when I woke up. They put a cold rag on my head. Sounds stupid, but it cooled me off pretty quick. Within 30 minutes, I was feeling much better. Within an hour, by the time I left the recovery and started heading back to my room, I felt good. Like my uncomfortable level was like a 3, and mainly a lot of that was because of my back. So, yeah, I felt great. For just having surgery anyways. As soon as you got back to the room, they encouraged you to walk, and walk I did. I walked as much as I could with my back. So I basically got up at like every 15-20 minutes and walked, and as much as I could, just down the hall and back. And I really didn't have any of the gas issues, which is awesome. Like my whole surgery just went way too well. Day 1, I kept lifting up my shirt to see the scars because it was almost like I didn't believe that I had surgery. It was probably more mentally hard for me than physically hard, just understanding that I actually went through that and it wasn't too bad. So I don't know if I'm a rare case or if Dr. Ling is just that awesome, or if I'm just that awesome. Maybe I'm Superman. I don't know. Maybe I'm just have a high pain tolerance for my back. But either way, surgery went really awesome. Recovery. Day 1 was awesome. Post-op 1. Day 2 from post-op, they give you, they make you drink stuff and make sure you can hold it down. I did, no problem. Really never had problems with food that much at all, except chicken. I'll explain that later. But anyways, when I got home, I started my pre-op diet or post-op diet. It was 14 days of liquid. I was pretty used to it by then, so I did that. After that, I was released to do the blended food diet, and that sucked really bad. And I just pretty much stuck with the liquid diet for that 2 weeks. Then after that, I was released to soft foods. That released a whole new game for me, and that was much appreciated. And then after that, I got to regular foods, minus like salads and some things like that. During this whole entire thing, the only thing that ever messes with me is if I cook myself chicken, because I tend to overcook it, and it's like a rubber, and sometimes that will get stuck in my throat and then get the foamies. If you don't know what that is, basically get stuck in your throat and you produce extra saliva, and eventually you'll burn it back up. It's not pleasant. It's not the worst thing in the world, I guess, but it's not pleasant. Another thing you can have is dumping syndrome. I never experienced that. Really, the only thing is chicken, and it's only when I cook it. So, other than that, I can pretty much eat anything, in moderation, and stick to at least 100 grams of protein a day. I won't tell you how many calories I eat, because that's going to be different for you, but and stick with what they recommend. And everything's been going really good. Like I said, I go to the gym 5 days a week. I'm down 123 pounds in the 6 months, and things are going really, really well, and didn't have really any side effects at all. Only positives. I feel like I have a ton more energy. I feel like I can run 10 miles, but my back will not allow me. But my physical or my mental status is much better now. And I feel like I really want to do things, and I do as much as I can, and that's all we can do. Don't make excuses. Get up and move as much as you can. And, when your body tells you that's enough, do just a tiny bit more and then stop, and hopefully you didn't overdo it. That's what I do, and it's been working out pretty good. I'm very excited here shortly to get my back surgery, and hopefully recover from that, and then maybe be fixed. As far as my surgery, like I said, New Surgical Weight Loss Center. If you guys are within a 2-hour drive of that, go. I'm an hour and 20 minutes away. I would honestly drive 8 hours. I would fly there. The people have been totally awesome, and they have a very good support system, which is probably one of the most important things. When you need answers, you can call them and you get the answers, or you can go up there and get answers. We have monthly support groups up there, and they're totally awesome, and I highly suggest it if you guys are even considering. The worst thing about this surgery is I waited when I shouldn't have. I should have got this 20 years ago or whatever. And honestly, that's probably my biggest regret, is waiting. And other than that, though, I feel a ton better. I'm ugly, so I don't look a ton better, but I do feel a ton better. And I have so much more energy, and once my back's fixed, I think good things are gonna happen. So like I said, I consulted with all my doctors and the neurosurgeon, and we decided I still want to lose like 20 to 30 to 40 pounds, between 20 and 40 pounds. And once I get to the weight that I'm happy with, whatever that number is, the number doesn't matter. Once I feel like I'm healthy enough, then we're going to do the back surgery, and hopefully I'll recover from that. If Dr. Faget's anywhere near as good as Dr. Ling was, I'll be doing good here in about 6 or 7 months, hopefully. So that's my update video. If you're considering any of the weight loss surgeries, I really like the gastric bypass. If you're considering them and you're in Missouri or Illinois, maybe Arkansas, whatever states above us, just go. Give them a call. Or find somebody local to you that you really like. Main thing is, if you talk to them and it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Go somewhere else. There's other people. And yeah, that's my video. Like it? I like it. Bye.